Okay, so after some quick calculations and some intense deliberation and some brainstorming and just an idea I got on the whim, I'm going to go ahead and put a quick connect on these connections here for the lights. It's just a quick automotive connection. I stole this from another job. I should have enough on the end to the left to solder and connect it. But this way, if I ever have to quick connect this plow or quick disconnect it, I can just connect it and disconnect it here. It's a lot easier. So I'm just going to go ahead and strip these. I'm going to cut these, put this here, and that'll be the connection point. Okay. So I think it's 12 gauge wire. So they should look about like this. These strippers are awesome, by the way. Never do the ones that look like pliers. These are the best. There, no problem. I got them stripped good. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to find a nice point here on the wire where I think I can make good connections. I think it's going to be right about here and here. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut them. And it's okay if you get the insulation in it as well. The strippers will pull that off. So let me think. Probably want to do it right here. All right, and same thing. So if you look at these, this connection, the blue goes to the gray, and this gray goes to the red. So this plug only goes one way. So as long as you connect the black wire here and the black wire here, as well as the red wire here and the red wire here, you'll make a good connection. So that's what I'm going to do. So this insulation needs cut a little bit. So you just gotta slide in there and then you can rip it. So just like that. You just need to have a little bit more grip on these wires. Plus when I slide the insulation on these wires, I need a little bit of space. So I'll probably go ahead and do more. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and slide the insulation over top. And you want about a 1/2 inch to 1 inch. That way it doesn't melt it from the heat of the solder. So then I just bend these over so it doesn't slide off. So just like that, so see it won't come off. Then I can just let this hang. And the reason I put the insulation on this is because I have the ability to go down farther on this. On this, I do not, because it would not slip over this connection here. So simple, just go one size bigger. So go to 10 gauge if you're cutting off insulation, or the insulation as well. And then one pass pulls it right off, just like that. Pulls insulation and everything. All right, so those connections are good. Okay, so simple. Let's see. Red wire down here goes to gray wire up here, which stays on the red circuit. So just tie these together. And you take your soldering iron So sometimes this silver wire takes a while to heat up, and once it does, it'll suck in. But it's a different type of wire. It's like marine coated or something. Now, I don't use flux. I just use silver solder. Has rosin in it, but silver is the best. I've been doing circuits for about 10 years. They did that at college as well in my engineering program. They told me to use silver. So I stuck with it, and when you can find it, buy it and get the thin stuff. All right, so that's a solid connection that's never going to break. I'm just going to go ahead and speed through the next ones. Just a quick tip when wiring, always make sure that your insulation is on here, or you'll have to unsolder it. And if you don't have the tool to suck the solder off the connection, it can fling right into your eye. So if you're going to do that, wear safety glasses. Of course, both of mine are here, so I'm only going to have to do this once. Now on the tip of this, I actually, I never clean it. I actually let it kind of corrode apart. And what that does is that exposes the inside of the element, and it makes your soldering gun a lot hotter. And then when you're doing wires like this in the open, it is way easier to do. So that's just the way I like to do things. But obviously not the official correct way. But I've always found this have really good success, especially with doing a lot of automotive wiring. It definitely makes a difference, because if you try to get a new tip on here without like scraping it with a like a side cut or a cutter, if you don't open up to that inner core, it will take forever to heat up, and you may not actually be able to do it when it's cold outside. So that's that. Now I'm just going to heat shrink them. I'll show you what I do to get them tucked in. So whatever direction you're sliding this wire needs to go that way as well. So ouch, that's hot. Youch. Still hot. See, it gets pretty long. And then your wire should be able to slide right over top of it. I'm going to clip a little bit of this off. I like to keep that short, and it's soldered all the way down, so it ain't going to matter. Just watch your eyes when you do this, because they like to fly anyway, any way they want. So this is what I was saying about making this like an inch away from the soldering joint. This kind of shrank a little bit, so it's not quite slipping over this connection. So simple fix, get you some pliers, just pinch it. Solder is pretty flexible. Okay, and that should slide right over, just like that. And then you got yourself connection. So, remember when I told you to make sure that your insulation is on the wire? Yeah, don't know how that slipped off. Was not paying attention. So the easiest way I know to do this, I'll show you. Just keep pressure on this. I do have safety glasses on. Just keep pressure on this, heat up the solder, and slowly increase your pressure until it pulls apart. Now this will sling solder right back towards me. So you gotta be very careful, like that. And then your connection is off. So, don't know how I missed that, but sometimes even the people that do it all the time miss little things. Okay, so now this is gonna be warm, so I'm just gonna let that cool off a second. All right, so now you're just joining two soldered wires together. It's usually pretty easy. Just got to heat up the solder and then it sucks into the other one. Then it's good. Just like that. And in order to keep from having a cold joint, what I always do, so first, a cold joint is where it's kind of foggy, a little bit more of a tarnished silver look, and a good joint is shiny. So you can see that kind of shines. So just make sure when you solder, use fresh solder. It's okay to kind of flick the other solder off and start new, and that'll ensure that you always get a good joint. Okay, so that's still a little hot. I don't want to slide my insulation over yet, or it'll start shrinking. And then what I was going to show you is if you take your side cuts and you just kind of take the top of this and trim it, it makes it fit a little bit better. But always take your pliers after and clean that up, because that will cut your insulation open because it's sharp. Obviously I could just go a size bigger, but this should work. Just like that. So those are done. Same thing, you're going to be moving this way. So pinch it towards the direction you're pulling your insulation up. And then if you ever see a burr, like this little thing here, just clip it off. When you heat shrink it, that'll poke through the insulation. Okay, just like that. Go ahead and pull it on top of those little rubber pieces on the plug. And it helps sometimes to rotate the insulation as well if you can't quite get it over the lump. All right, just like that. Then my favorite part, the blowtorch. You got to stay about a foot away with this. There you have it. That's soldering 101 the easy way. So those connections are never going to come apart. They're insulated from the elements, and I'm confident that this connection will keep water out as well. You know, just make sure you push it down tight. And there you have it. Lights are all on, lights are all working, so connection is good. And then if I ever need to quick disconnect this plow, I just disconnect it here and tie that wire up. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, make sure you guys give it a thumbs up. Make sure you guys leave a comment down below if you guys think of something else that I could have done better. And make sure you share this video. Also subscribe to the channel. And until next time, this is the easy way to do things. Well, see ya.